Hey guys, I'm here at the Monster Museum and Kayla says I got a mail day. You already opened it, I see, as you do.
Well, it's addressed to Tom Devlin's Monster Museum.
So let's see what I got. Oh, I know what this is. So, about a couple years ago, I made a photo op costume for Johnny Yong Bosch, who plays the Black Ranger in Power Rangers the movie, which is one of my favorites. And he has sent me back the helmet because he's no longer doing this photo op. And it says Mastodon. It's Morphin Time, Johnny Yong Bosch, Adam. That's awesome. And this is, I handmade this helmet. It's got some foam in there. And we're gonna put the costume on display here in the Monster Museum in an area where you don't have to pay to see it because I keep all my Power Ranger stuff on display because I'm just a big kid at heart. But I love Power Rangers. That autograph is beautiful. My daughter got super excited when I did this. She doesn't care about Power Rangers, but I took her to Morphin Con and I wanted her to meet Johnny and my son to meet Johnny. And when they got to her table, my daughter realized he is the voice of a character she loves from Demon Slayer, and she just lost her business. It was awesome. It was like the first time I ever saw her fan out. But I'll tell you, doing this pinstriping was the hardest thing. I did it in my friend Ben Foreman's kitchen. It was nightmare. Not what I love to do, but this is a resin mask I made, and I am so stoked to have it back. Can't wait to display the character. So this is the costume that I made Johnny, and we did Power Ranger the movie version, and we're gonna get this onto a mannequin that we can show off here at the Monster Museum. All right, so yesterday we started cleaning up the haunted attraction for the Easter haunt, which is tomorrow night. I need to clean up our mess in the parking lot here, so we're not showing off our monster dust to the Easter egg haunt crowd. Have a little bit of a mess over here, needs to be cleaned up and addressed. And right now I'm headed to Lowe's to pick out some lighting, some pastels, some pink, purple, get some lighting. And then I'm going to come back and get that Black Ranger together and put him in the museum because it's just so exciting to have him back in my life. All right, let's go. So I am here at Lowe's looking at the colored lighting. They really only have red down here. I don't need red. I already have red. I was looking for pink or purple. You know? They didn't have anything locally either. Problem is, a lot of these colored lights are just not high enough wattage. Like they have these here. These just aren't high enough wattage. Here we go. This is a smart bulb. Those are exactly the colors I'm looking for. Bring on. Brightness 1000. Hello. All right, so the wife says these will work. She can program this on her phone, and this will help us out. So now, since I'm over here, I'm just going to go take a walk through the Goodwill. Not that I believe I'm going to see my movies in there, but just because I'm in town. And then I will head back up to the museum. Look at this life-size Yukon Cornelius. He's here at the Goodwill. Last Samurai, worked on that one. We've talked about this one quite a few times on the channel. This is Scorpion King, my first movie I ever worked on. Battle Queen 2000 with Julie Strain. I don't think I ever saw this. I love Julie Strain. I met her one time. Super nice lady. I am going to purchase this Battle Queen 2000 or Battle Queen 2020, I'm sorry. This has got to be some gold. We'll check it out. Well, Yukon, I found Battle Queen 2020, and I'm gonna go check this out tonight, but you have a wonderful day. All right, guys, so I am going to get the Black Ranger Adam mounted onto my mannequin and get him into the Monster Museum.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Black Ranger, Adam's gonna fight. Oh, quiet kid in the back of class. Quick hands never coming in last. When the shadows start to crawl and creep, he's the one leaping in, diving deep. From the dojo to the danger, he's standing tall, a fearless stranger. When the call comes through the line, you know it's Morphin Time. Adam, the Black Power Ranger, leaping into every danger. Johnny's face, but a warrior's heart, kicking through the dark, tearing fear apart. Go, go, Black Power Ranger. Adam, you're a world defender. From Angel Grove to the stars above, you're the strength, you're the courage, you're the punch of love. Thundering his every move, spinning high every striking groove. When the Zords start to roar and rise, he's the one flying up through the skies. From the chaos to the skyline, he's holding fast to the lifeline. When the sirens start to chime, you know it's Morphin Time. Adam, the Black Power Ranger, leaping into every danger. Johnny's face, but a warrior's heart, kicking through the dark, tearing fear apart. Go, go, Black Power Ranger. Adam, you're a world defender. From Angel Grove to the stars above, you're the strength, you're the courage, you're the punch of love. Go, go, Adam, never backing down. Go, go, hero of this town. One shout, one spark, he's gone, and the nightmare's done by dawn. Adam, the Black Power Ranger, leaping into every danger. Johnny's face, but a warrior's heart, kicking through the dark, tearing fear apart. Go, go, Black Power Ranger. Adam, you're a world defender. From Angel Grove to the stars above, you're the strength, you're the courage, you're the punch of love. Black Power Ranger. Go, go, Black Power Ranger. Adam's gonna save the day.
All right, there he is, guys. That is Adam, the Black Ranger. It is so cool to have this guy back at the shop. This is where he was born. I mean, I obviously born for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, but I recreated him right here for Johnny to wear at, we did Morphin Con, we did Comic Con in Little Rock. He went on to do a couple other shows on his own. I think he even took it to Hawaii or something. But it's been retired and returned to the Monster Museum, where it will live in the storefront. I have a small Power Ranger collection that I keep there. My personal collection I have a signed White Ranger mask. I have a Blue Ranger helmet that David Yost signed for me last year. Actually, 1 year ago. Yes, well, right around this time. I did a job for him, and he signed that helmet for me. I have a Pink Ranger. I love Power Rangers. So the interesting thing about my love for Power Rangers, it's got a fun story. Johnny, why don't you come over and we'll have story time, okay? Alrighty. That makes for a better visual than staring at a dirty workshop. So the funny thing about my love for Power Rangers and all things, I guess Toho, but I loved Ultraman. I loved Godzilla. I love a lot of Japanese martial arts and monsters. When I was a kid, Power Rangers came around, not late for me, but like late for me to be buying toys and coloring books and things like that. But when Power Rangers came out in the early 90s, I had moved to Pennsylvania. I didn't have a whole lot of friends, and I got no channels. We lived in the middle of nowhere in a little town called Canadensis in Pennsylvania, outside East Stroudsburg. So I got Channel 5 was Fox, and it was a little fuzzy, but we got it. And then we got like CBS or ABC. So we had 2 or 3 channels. But I would watch Fox Kids like everybody else, and I watched Power Rangers every day, and I loved it, man. I love Power Rangers, VR Troopers, Big Bad Beetleborgs, anything with these type of costumes, martial arts and monsters. I was sold. I was so into it. And this is before I decided I was going to be an effects artist. This was just what I loved. And I loved He-Man and Ninja Turtles, but the live action Power Rangers show was awesome for me. My dad still has in his house, my first clay sculpture I ever really did was a mug I made in 6th or 7th grade, and it's a Power Ranger mug. It has the 2 Red Ranger hands holding a handle, and then it's got like a cool lightning bolt. But I love Power Rangers. And so, cut ahead to my movie journey. When I was on Face Off, we go out to Vasquez Rocks, which is very infamously known from being Star Trek sets. But they were interviewing each person, and they said, what does this scenery remind you of? And they're trying to get us to say Star Trek. And when they got to me, they're like, what does this scenery remind you of? I was like, well, I was just here on Princess of Mars for the Asylum like 2 months ago. And they're like, no. What classic show does this scenery remind you of? And I said, well, it's the headquarters of the Power Rangers. This is where Zordon's headquarters was outside of Angel Grove for the Power Rangers, was at Vasquez Rocks. And they're like, no. And they went on to the next person. Somebody finally said Star Trek, I'm sure. But I always said if I could do I'd love to work on the Power Rangers. If I could ever work on a show, that's the kind of show that I want, like the kids show. I love the monsters, the goofy, big polyfoam monsters. And then one time I was at Days of the Dead Atlanta at a convention signing. I was in the celebrity room, and it was really slow. It was dead slow. So there happened to be a Power Ranger convention at the exact same time. And so I left Days of the Dead. I left my table abandoned, and I went downtown, took an Uber to the Power Ranger convention, and it blew me away, the fandom for this, and how many people like myself were so obsessed with Power Rangers. I got to meet a lot of the stars. And the other thing is, walking through a horror convention, I'm often approached, and I take pictures and I say hi, and I become a part of the community. In the Power Ranger convention, nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared. I could be a fan. I stood in line. I got David Yost's autograph before I met him. Walter Jones, Austin St. James, the original Red Ranger. I got to meet all these people, and it was awesome. So then I start doing the photo ops for conventions. I was already doing photo ops like for Kane and stuff, building costumes and stuff. And Kane's manager and Tony Todd's manager, who I had built costumes for, manages a lot of anime guys. And one of them was Yong Bosch, because he was in Demon Slayer, but also he's a Power Ranger. So she asked if I would make a Power Ranger costume from Power Rangers the movie. And Power Rangers the movie holds such a special spot in my heart because, like I said, I was a little too old to love Power Rangers like I did. I bought all the toys, and I had like the Polly Pocket sets that opened up, and they're miniatures of Power Rangers and Rita and Goldar and all that. I loved everything to do with it, the collectability of Power Rangers. So when she said, would I make a Power Ranger the movie costume, I flipped out. My best friend from back home, Jamie, who you guys will meet on this channel eventually, I'm sure. Her dad and I used to stay up and watch Power Rangers at night. And that was the one thing we could bond on. Like, this guy, Bill, was gruff. I'm a grumpy old man. He was always very stern, grumpy. But if we put Power Rangers the movie on, he just, I don't know if he thought Kimberly was cute or if he just loved the goofiness of the putties and Ivan Ooze. But he really connected to that movie. And I connected to that movie, and together we were fans of Power Rangers the movie. And every time I watch it, I think of Bill because, like I said, he was he didn't say a lot. He was kind of grumpy, but with that movie, we could find a common ground and common denominator. When I went on to go to Hollywood to work on makeup effects, I think the only reason Bill understood was because of Ivan Ooze. I think he got that I was into this stuff. So I watched that movie a lot. He passed away several years ago. And when I watch that movie, I think of Bill. And when I built this costume, being that this is from the movie, this is not from the TV show, you know, the sculpt and everything, the cool looking Moto Power Rangers are from the movie. I really did, like, you know, I thought good thoughts about my old friend Bill, who's no longer with us. I do know, even though he was grumpy and curmudgeon-y, a lot of our relationship, I do think he was proud of me, and I do think he respected who I became, because he knew me as a little snot-nosed, out-of-control child till I became an adult and kind of a success in my industry, which I think he could relate back to with Power Rangers the movie. He also really liked Cobra, but not a lot of makeup effects in Cobra. But anyway, this guy's super special. I'm super happy to have him back. He'll be in the Monster Museum lobby for people to see for free. For any of those kids that are ever scared to go in the Monster Museum, I always say, oh, go check out my Power Rangers over there. And kids today maybe don't love Power Rangers the way that they did before. But I feel like there's always a generation of Power Ranger fans because they just keep making it. My son had his generation with Dino Thunder and Dino Supercharged. And hopefully someday he revisits that world and falls back in love with it, because there was such a golden moment where my kid loved Power Rangers and I love Power Rangers and we had it together. But my kids always say, this is Dad's Power Ranger. And that's true. This is my era, the Mighty Morphin era. So anyway, I'm going to go stick this guy in the museum, and then I will see you tomorrow. So here we are in the Monster Museum. Got Adam, the Black Ranger. We got Adam. We got Tommy right here, the Dragon Dagger. Here's Billy down here. Pretty cool.